Ciao ciao a tutti quanti! Finally, the city builder levels. And these are the two last scenarios that we are gonna introduce in this course. These two levels are way more open-ended than the previous one, and they also come with a lot more scenario points. These levels are, in a sense, the pinnacle of what we have been building towards through all the concepts that we have taught so far. Let me jump into City Builder 1, red berries and blueberries. There you have it. Of course, I suggest you go through the dialogues as usual. They're really fun and they tell an important story and really connect with the economic concepts. But in any case, remember, you can also, once you do it, the first time, you can also just start anywhere you want in the level. This city builder required us to change a little bit the UI, so it's a little bit special relative to the previous levels that you have seen. All you have to worry about is this part of the interface here. If I, for example, click on a blueberry like that, you can see that my mouse now has a blueberry attached to it, which is great. And if I click, I am starting a blueberry company. That's fantastic. Let me put down a few blueberries, like say 4. And at this point, let me click again here to toggle it off. Now I can go back to moving my character as usual. You can see here that this location has an entrepreneur who is going to try to produce 4 blueberries. So very simple. You have decided for the entrepreneur the amount of blueberries they should produce. And this entrepreneur is about to ask for shopping for workers. Very well. The other thing that I suggest you do, you can move everything, and we made this change to make it especially easy to play the city builder. So you can see the little hand, and if I click, I can drag things around. So just in case you want to move things a little bit around, this is the consumer associated with this entrepreneur that's going to take care of the entrepreneur's happiness. If I hover these bags of money, you can see that I'm learning that the cost of producing 4 blueberries is actually $6 and the revenue is $8. So I'm making a profit here. This is the budget of the entrepreneur, and because the budget is pretty large, they can definitely afford the startup cost of $6. So we are seemingly in a good situation. If you want more information about it, you can click the I information panel here and see how the production function changes based on the amount of blueberries that you produce, just as we saw in the previous workshops. But for the city builder, we simplify things a little bit by allowing you to drag a location immediately and quickly into the world by clicking on these buttons here. So you have brought to your economy some blueberries. Let's bring also some red berries. I can literally paint with this tool. I can hold down my mouse button and paint. If I want to get rid, so if I want to say, I don't want to put down any more red berries, I can right click on the mouse, or you can untoggle here. So the cost is pretty low, revenues are pretty high, fantastic. So this is how you create a couple of productive locations here in the game. You will notice also that the prices here are being fixed at $2. The market is not going to update. We wanted to keep things simple so you can understand the economic principles a little bit better. When the prices are constantly changing, that can be a little more sophisticated, a little harder. So the prices are fixed at $2, which is not necessarily good news because we are going to end up having some excess demand and excess supply. And you can see immediately that it's happening here. We have an excess supply of blueberries in this case, and excess supply of red berries. And usually the price would take the role of eliminating this excess demand or excess supply, but these prices are fixed. So it's your role as the mayor, the president of this town, to actually get in more firms or more households in order to balance the market. The objective, as usual, is to get the maximum amount of happiness that you can out of the economy. And you can see down here the benchmark, which is the line that you have to catch up with unless you want to enter game over state. And here, up here, you can see again the level 60 happiness that will allow you to get full marks, full scenario points. Remember though that if you want to score very well in the leaderboard, you can go well beyond 60 points here, 60 utils or happiness points. You can go far beyond that, because what matters for our overall leaderboards that I just showed is the amount of points that you end up, happiness points that you end up with at the end of your level. So maybe all students will be able to get to 60 and get full scenario points, but if you push your economy even further, then you're gonna improve your ranking in the leaderboard, because the total amount of happiness is also important beyond our threshold of 60 utils that we are showing there. Fabulous. This is nighttime in the village. We've got 2 productive locations that are not producing because there aren't any workers. There are no households. Remember the circular model of the economy back here in full swing. You can also see that this producer is making a little bit so the cost of production is going to be $6 and the revenue is $8, so making a profit of $2. This is going to make a little more profit. If you want to add, you can again click on the blueberry up here in this part of the screen and then place it down. But you can also, if you want, untoggle that and then drag this blueberry in the bin. If you think, for example, that it would be better for this entrepreneur to sell less of red berries, you can drag them like this, drop them, and that changes their budget and their potential profit. So it's up to you to think about what would be the ideal outcome for society. Should these entrepreneurs make a profit, or should they make zero profit? What would be best for society? Also keeping in mind that, this is their production function. So have a look at the production function, try to remember what we said about marginal cost, average total cost, and try to make up your own mind. What is the optimal outcome for society here? What should be the ideal production schedule pattern for all these locations? I can go on and on, put even more blueberries if I want. I can just paint it away easy and quick. But at this point, I think it would be helpful to put down some workers. I click on their yellow hat, and then I can paint the house just like I painted the field. The size of the house doesn't really matter, but it will make space for some of the leisure activity if you want to do that. And you can see that we added also more feedback on the agents. They're gonna tell you exactly what they're doing, so just go next to them and talk with them. You can see that this worker is busy. He is willing to offer 10 units of labor, and the demand so far has been 11 units of labor, working for all locations. You can also see that the consumers that are assigned to the various entrepreneurs have been purchasing as well. And because, the entrepreneur, you can see it back here in the cards that I've just created, they also have needs and they deserve to be happy. Remember, you are being evaluated based on the happiness per capita, so it's possible that you may want to balance your society in that sense as well. Now, I'm doing pretty okay. So far, I am above the benchmark, but it's a long road until the end of the game. Remember also that you can speed up time as usual by clicking here, which is great if you want to just see how your economy is going. And also remember that you can pause time. If you pause time, you can still set down location and do all of those things with time paused in case you want to gain those few extra seconds at the beginning of the level to really achieve the highest possible score. Apologies for that. The other thing that you could do if you wanted is to let the game go normally and then switch to this mode here. This mode is basically asking you to click the button every time a market cycle starts. So let me show you how that works. I'm speeding up. They are doing all their things, going back home, and now it's waiting for me to confirm. So I can make all the decisions, create new things, create new households, and the game is paused, and the market will only start if I press this button confirm. As usual, you can place leisure activities for your workers because who knows, it may be optimal for them to actually have a little bit of fun during the day. So you can put a stove. We have seen this mechanic in the previous workshop, so have a look if you want to learn more about the choice between leisure and work and how it applies to a contest like this where you're trying to maximize the happiness of your city. This was your super brief introduction to the scenario. You are gonna have to think about distribution of wealth, inequality, equity, production optimality, demand and supply. And remember, the market is not gonna help here by getting the price to reduce excess demand, excess supply. You're gonna have to rely on entry of new firms to stabilize the market. You can also see down here that you can, as before, control the budgets for the different agents. This entrepreneur is automatically spending basically everything that's beyond the profit, beyond what they need for production, which is usually a good thing. And these workers are also spending everything. If you remember the Keynesian model, that's probably a good strategy. You don't want to save money because, as you know, in a closed economy like this, saving money might actually end up not really making you save money, but just lose an opportunity for production, in this simple model at least. If you want to delete a team, you can always click on the garbage can and the whole team is going to be deleted just like that. And you can start with a new set of teams. If you want to investigate how they're doing, just click to flip the cards. You're going to see how their budget has evolved over time, their happiness, how many workers they are demanding, how much food they are demanding, and so on and so forth. Very well. Moving now to the other scenario, which is the last one for this course, City Builder 2, red berries and blueberries and public goods. I'm gonna go in easy mode again. You don't have to follow the story all the time. The story is fantastic. Our artist and storytellers, she's always making us laugh with this, but you can also just move here, and start your village the way you want. What is different about this one? Sorry, I had a bit of cough over there, so I muted myself a little bit. What is different about this level that wasn't there before? Well, there are a lot of similarities. You're gonna put down location just as before, but now you have an additional tab here, which is the public good tab. You can do things like putting down public goods, something that we discussed in the tutorial as part of this level, but also we discussed in previous weeks, so maybe have a look at that. I can, for example, put down a fountain right in the middle of the city, and this fountain is something that we call a good that is non-excludable and non-rivalrous, and it has interesting features if your objective is to maximize the happiness of the town. So refer to the tutorial here or to the previous workshop if you want to know more about public goods. Now, how do we create public goods? Well, unfortunately, the mayor here doesn't have any money with them, so we are gonna have to impose taxes. Oh no, those things that nobody wants to impose, but let's give it a go. I am gonna click on one of these buttons. It could be either this one for workers, and I can just put a tax on any of the goods in the market. Let's say that I decide to put a tax on blueberries. Now I can click on the taxes here, and I'm gonna put a tax of $2, say, or even just like say $1, and maybe I'm gonna put $1 on red berries. Fantastic. Now that I've put down my fountain, if you notice, if you click in here, in the wood section of the market, which is what's required to make that fountain, you are going to see that we automatically, for you, just as a courtesy, demanded one piece of wood, which is exactly what you need to build and maintain that fountain. So you can change it. You can order more wood if you want manually. And in fact, you can order any wood if you want manually. But what's really going to be important in this level is the amount of wood that you are sourcing in order to not just build the public goods, but also maintain them. If you hover, you're going to have a lot of information about the fountain, for example, down here, which tells you that it provides 2 happiness if anyone passes next to it, but it will require 1 wood every market cycle. Also remember that if you put down multiple fountains, and like 3 or 4 fountains in your town, and this applies to every good, including the torches and the shrub that I'm just putting down there. If a character passes over these things multiple times, they just get 1 benefit per market cycle. In other words, the first time you see the little fire torch, you love it, but if you encounter it several times over the market cycle, should I say, you're not gonna incrementally have more happiness. So only the first time counts. Just something to keep in mind when you make your decision. Now you can see that we have some demand for wood, but we have no wood, so I'm gonna make a wood location. This is an example. Let me just make sure that I'm not bankrupting this guy. The cost is 10, revenue is 14. Okay, so they can handle this. And you can see this is a classic intermediary good. It's not a final good. It's not a good that gives you directly happiness, but these fountains and other public goods really can. And being non-excludable, non-rivalrous, there is a benefit in having public goods, and you can observe this in reality if you look around you in your regular days. A lot of the things that we like in life, like parks and other things, are sometimes provided by the government. Okay, so I didn't go that far with this, so I'm gonna just replay again, and this time go a little bit faster on the setup. So I'm gonna put a few workers in there. I'm gonna get a few red berries and blueberries location, just like that, and a few locations here, and then I'm gonna get that wood location going. Fabulous, and that's a good revenue. Oh well, actually maybe that's a little too much wood. I'm not gonna need all of it. And I also need to put a tax at this point, so let me get rid of that. That's too much. I'm also gonna put a tax on, say, red berries and maybe blueberries, all of them. Fantastic. And I'm gonna put down a public good just like that. I just want to show you one thing before I wrap up today. So yeah, it's automatically adding an order for wood. You can see it right here. Perfect. So now I can close all of this and just focus on what's happening in the world. Where is my, okay, wood is on the table here. Where is my architect? Let me look for him around. Eccolo qua, he's here. He's waiting for items to become available in the market. So he's waiting for the right moment to go and purchase the goods. I need to have a little more money in my account before he can do that. You can see that I have ordered 2 pieces of wood, which is great, but we also need to make sure we have enough money to purchase them. So at this point, my architect is going. He's also telling you exactly what to do if you go near him. But what you're going to see is that they are going to just build the public goods for you. So you don't have to worry about any of this. They are going to get to you, get the wood. Very well. They are waiting for more items to be available, and then when they're gonna get ready for the real thing, they will go and start building it. There you go. They build a fountain here, and they're also making sure to maintain it. Whenever you see that there is this wrench icon, the setting icon, it means that it needs maintenance, and your architect is gonna take care of it for you. So as long as you have enough money from your taxes, I'm making I have $120, maybe too much. you're gonna be, and I'm trying to purchase 2 wood to maintain these 2 public goods. He's gonna do automatically all the work for you. Now remember that every time I impose a tax, there might be a cost on society because I am inflating the cost of that good, reducing demand for that good. So be careful when you use taxes and use them wisely. In this level, it may be optimal to raise some taxes to finance some public goods, but don't do what I'm doing here. You can see here my treasury. I'm making way too much money in taxes. I'm probably just depressing the economy a little bit, and that's not good. We at the Playconomics team are always 1 email away. Send us a message in the ebook sections. We are gonna reply right away. If you have any trouble, we are here to help. Have a great day, and I'm gonna see you soon. Thank you very much for tuning in. Bye bye.